To all the familiar faces in the sanctuary, good morning.
Good morning.
And to all those in cyberspace, welcome and peace be with you always. Spring is upon us, and we give thanks to the Great Spirit for all of its manifestation, magnificent and diverse creations, for this space in which to gather, for each other, for precious clean water to drink, and for healthy soil in which to grow our food and nurture our bodies. We are blessed. Pray with me now as we take a breath in and release out the worldly concerns, still our minds, our emotions, and our soul to connect deeply with the powerful presence within and all around us. We join today in celebration of our unity with the Great Spirit of love, light, and life, in whose image and likeness we are gloriously made and worthy of all goodness. In community, we rest in the peaceful presence I call God to deepen our connection to the ground of our being and to one another in the atmosphere of this peace, harmony, kindness, and well-being. Our wholeness shines in us, upon us, and through us for our greatest and highest good. In this stillness, we are enabled to listen, to accept, and to act upon the wisdom revealed for our life's purpose, free of limitations and preconceived notions. As we listen to Reverend Diana's inspired thoughts on the qualities of the divine masculine in each one of us. From this, we take what is meant for our soul's journey, free of doubt and preconceived notion of those qualities, with a calm mind, an open heart, and a thirsty soul. In faith and trust, we know all prayer is answered even before it is spoken, for it rests in the mind of God, and what is in the mind of God is bound to come forth in divine order and timing. Knowing there is power in these words to manifest what is needed in our lives, we place our words into the creative process of intelligence, power, and substance. With the utmost gratitude and thanksgiving, I close my prayer, I release it, and I call it done. And so it is. Amen. Aho. Ashe. Atu. Satu.
Thank you, Chris, for such a beautiful prayer to set our space today. Welcome to all who are in the room, all who are here online with us today. If you're new with us today, my name is Reverend Diana Johnson. I'm the pastor and spiritual director for Mystic Heart Spiritual Center. We are an independent interfaith community that teaches universal principles and practical spirituality. So we open our doors in welcome, trusting that you will be led to the guidance and wisdom of your own mystic heart. And so join me in musical prayer this morning as we begin our Taizé meditative service.
Welcome home to your mystic heart. Lay aside whatever came before. Let your own intuition start to guide you to heaven's throne. Welcome home through your mystic heart. Lay aside whatever came before. Let your own intuition start to guide you to heaven's door. To guide you to heaven's door. To guide you to heaven's door. nations on the earth, all life upon the planet. Nothing can separate us, we are one. All nations on the earth, all life upon the planet. Nothing can separate us, we are one. We are one, we are one. Nothing can separate us, we are one. All nations on the earth, all life upon the planet. Nothing can separate us, we are one. We are one, we are one. Nothing can separate us, we are one. Nothing can separate us, we are one.
And so, grounded in a deep sense of gratitude for the many gifts of this day, let's settle into a moment of stillness. Taking a couple of slow, deep breaths. And letting go of all that has come before this moment. Allowing the breath to dissolve any thoughts or concerns. Relaxing the body. And on the next breath, allowing the awareness to move into the heart space. Allowing yourself to just rest there for a moment. Giving yourself the gift of presence. Feeling content in this moment as you ground yourself in the now. Becoming more relaxed and more peaceful, both within and without, as we breathe together. Feeling how the breath connects us to everything and to everyone, all humans, all other than human creatures, the plant life, rocks and sand, every drop of water, and then out into the cosmos with the stars and the planets and all that is beyond. All that exists, no matter how large or small, is an intricate and irreplaceable part of the one life. Take a moment to feel the cycle of breath that connects us all. As self-aware, self-reflecting beings, we know it is ours to rise. in awareness and in action, and to use the gifts that we've been given for the greater good of all. It is time to use our discerning minds to choose and create harmony so that wholeness might be revealed. It is time to use our power of imagination consciously, allowing it to lead us to action in creating the world we want to leave our children. This month's theme is divine union, the harmonious coexistence of the divine feminine with the sacred masculine, as we express ourselves in the world. The awareness that we are a sacred blending of humanity and divinity, and living our lives as such. Divine union. The recognition that there is nothing that separates us from the world around us. The experience that everything is expressing the one life, and everything is sacred. Divine union is being embodied and living a human life in a way that both logic and intuition are flowing freely in response to whatever presents itself. Decisions are made with both prudence and inner awareness. When strength and vulnerability dance together, advancing and receding as circumstances require. Divine union displays both self-discipline and the ability to go with the flow, connecting with the structures within the cycles. Divine union shows authentic emotions, while at the same time being rational and even keel. It alternates between giving and receiving, action and rest, calling each into play as needed, creating balance. It is natural for these energies to exist in harmony. We're familiar with the ancient Chinese symbol, yin-yang, which describes equal but opposite forces that are attractive and complementary. It is a good model to help us understand divine union. Yin and yang are interconnected and counterbalancing. Yin symbolizes the receptive feminine force, while yang symbolizes the active masculine energy. From this perspective, the universe creates itself out of chaos, the feminine, and organizes into form, the masculine. Then the cycle of creation and destruction continues indefinitely. Envision this symbol with me now. A circle divided into two halves by a curved line. One half of the circle is black, yin, and the other is white, yang, with a smaller circle of the opposite color in each half. These smaller circles are integral to understanding divine union. They symbolize the masculine within the feminine and the feminine within the masculine, reminding us that these forces are interdependent and one without the other is incomplete. These two opposing but complementary forces serve each other. The feminine without the masculine energy exists as pure consciousness, but has no awareness of where or what she is. She creates the container for all of creation, but never brings the formless into form. Lacking the instruction or structure for her creative force, she remains unformed, unseen, and unknown. The masculine energy without the feminine has structure, self-discipline, and direction, and is actively creating, but without meaning or purpose. He brings the formless into form, but not knowing when to stop and rest, he burns himself out. Forever solving, fixing, giving, he lacks receptivity. Leaning on his powers of logic, he fails to acknowledge his intuition. Seen through the lens of divine feminine and sacred masculine energies, the harmonizing of the two brings wholeness to our bodies, minds, hearts, and lives. As awareness grows within each of us, as we become more mindful of these energies moving through, noticing, shifting, changing, and guiding, we move from disharmony to harmony, to wholeness.
Divine union describes the coming together of different elements into a single whole. The divine feminine and masculine principles, our human nature and our divine self, our physical body and our spirit. These are the building blocks of our life. When they are balanced and aligned, we reflect the life of the one Spirit. Divine union is also a term used for marriage. In married life, we seek harmony with our spouse. As we commit to marrying our yin and yang, our divine and human, our body and soul, we create internal harmony, integrity, and peace, supporting us for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. Integration of these elements of consciousness is much like a wedding. In our 3 minutes of silent contemplation today, I invite you into your imagination to attend the wedding of your own sacred feminine and divine masculine principles. What do they promise one another? How will they seek harmony? allowing our awareness now to return to the here and now. We give thanks for this time of self-inquiry and communion with Spirit and with our beloved community. Grateful that we continue to bring our energies into greater and greater balance, into more perfect harmony, and we experience the peace that passes human understanding. As Reverend Diana continues her Taizé message this morning, our Divine Feminine receives and nurtures her inspiration as our Sacred Masculine engages the practical work of integration. And we begin to take bold steps to continue our journey from harmony to wholeness.
How did we come to know ourselves as separate from God? Where did this notion come from? This is a complex question, but one piece of the answer in Western culture is institutional religion. Institutional Christianity. There is a much used verse in the book of Isaiah which says that our sins have separated us from God. We are not told that the word used for separation means something more akin to spaciousness. That rather than pointing to our actual separateness from the divine, this verse might be demonstrating God's willingness to allow our higher wisdom, the time and space, to kick in regarding our mistakes and misdeeds. Rather than saying, you made a mistake, you can't possibly be one with God, maybe it's reassuring us that the time and space needed to find our conscience is built into the system. It's a given. It's a measure of grace. There are other verses in biblical text that indicate our union with the divine. In him we live and move and have our being. Isn't that divine union? We say that God is everywhere present. Does that mean everywhere except within you? Right here and now? The question of divine union is not, can we attain it? Because it has already been given. There is only life forever unfolding. Only Spirit expressing as all of creation, which includes you and me. Each of us is an irreplaceable expression of that life. The real question is, can we learn to truly know it? And maybe even more importantly, can we live our lives in a manner worthy of the gift? Author Carl McColman writes, "We are one with God even when we human beings reject that divine union, either explicitly by making unloving choices or implicitly by ignoring or forgetting God's unitive presence in our lives. So, he says, we have a job to do. in order to restore what has been lost on our part. That's the blessing here. God never loses God's union with us. So even while we think or feel that we are separated from God by whatever name we call it, that is only a misperception on our part, a consequence of our own spiritual blindness. But we are always invited back into the light of divine grace and divine union. He goes on to say that we must be convinced we have everything we need to reach and experience divine union. We don't need special visions or mystical experiences. We don't need some sort of spiritual superpower that is only available to the select few. Everyone lives and moves and has their being in God. So that means everyone has union with God, right here and right now. Let's anchor that in prayer, knowing this as the truth for yourself as I speak these words. There is one and only one source, one life. By whatever name I call it, I am and can only be an expression of its perfection and light. The presence of the one I call God fills my every atom and all of the space in between. It is the atmosphere in which I live and move and have my being. There is nothing else. Here, in this holy moment, I am reminded of who and whose I am. Divine union is the truth of my existence. My natural state is one of harmony and wholeness. I allow the truth of this message to permeate every part of my being. My spiritual journey has nothing to do with attaining union with the divine, and everything to do with accepting the truth. I am and have always been holy. I am and have always been whole. Enlightenment does not mean increasing the light within me, but rather accepting, knowing, and living that light into the world. And so I do. I shine the light of love and compassion into my relationships. I shine the light of generosity to those who need some help. I shine the light of peace and justice into every corner of my life. I shine the light of patience and non-judgment as well. I allow that light, the light that is mine alone, to shine bright, so that I might bring a little bit of warmth, a little bit of kindness into the life of another, and leave the world just a little bit more beautiful than I found it. I dedicate myself to this journey of faith. I'm guided by the deep wisdom that lives within me. I find within me the courage and strength that it takes to walk in truth. Thank you, Spirit, for this day and for blessings too numerous to name. Those gifts that I would call beautiful and easy and graceful and those that challenge me to grow in character and resilience and faith. I walk in wonder. I walk in reverence, in deep humility and gratitude for your masterful creation, for your powerful presence, wisdom, and guidance in every area of my life. Thank you for all of it. And so I rest now, knowing my prayer is answered even before it is spoken. And we affirm this as together we say, and so it is. Amen.
A dawn is breaking within you. Can you feel the promise of the morn? Your soul is waking to this moment, a new day waiting to be born. We are one in the devotion, naked in the truth for all time. We are moved by the emotion. We are one with the divine. We are a portal to awakening. We are living in God's love. Feels like our hearts are finally opening. Forgiveness rains down like a flood. We are one in the devotion, naked in the truth for all time. We are moved by the emotion. We are one with the divine. Standing in the light, arms held open wide, emerging from the night, fears all set aside. No day quite as bright, no place left to hide. Everything is right, and here we will abide. We are one in the devotion, naked in the truth for all time. We are moved by the emotion. We are one with the divine. We are drenched in the devotion, naked in the truth for all time. We are moved by the emotion. We are one with the divine. We are one with the divine. We are one with the divine.
invite you to come back into the awareness of your body. Notice the atmosphere in the room. Notice the sounds both indoors and outdoors. And when you feel ready, gently opening your eyes and allowing your gaze to take in whatever's before you. Feel free to look around, see who made it in the door. See who's here celebrating with you this morning. Spiritual family, one of your support systems. Some of the people who care about you and are there for you when you have a need. So nice to have you all here this morning. So as we close our Taizé portion of the morning, we offer an opportunity for you to share of your financial abundance if you choose to do so. And this supports the work that we do. It provides the space that we have and supports us in going out into the world to do our good work. So if you're joining us online, you can go to mysticheart.org and you'll find a donate button and a mailing address. And we're just grateful. We say thank you in advance for all the gifts that are given. As we do our offering this morning, I have a really fun video. It's spring, right? It's plant time. It's farmer's market. You know me, so you're going to get a dose of the farmer's market. Just started Saturday. And this guy's name is Charlie McGee, and he's part of a band called Formidable Vegetable. And he only writes songs about gardening and permaculture. So enjoy Charlie McGee. It's called You Are What You Eat.
You are what you eat. That's the truth.
You are what you eat, and you are what you eat eats, and you're even what you eat eats. Here's a clue. Why don't you take a peek beneath your feet? Cause if you wanna know what you're made from, look at what you're made from's made from. Cause the stuff that we're all made from is the same. Yeah, we goes from dust to dust. You gotta just trust that upper crust and maintain that good terrain from whence you came. Cause we've been looking up, we've been messing around, we've been freaking out. But it's time to get down, down, down. Cause we're made up of common ground, can't live without it. And it's time to get down, 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 down. Cause when you flirt with the dirt, you'll observe it's certainly not inert. From a worm to a chicken bucket, you're never alone on the loam. And it's time to get to work. We've been looking up, we've been messing around, we've been freaking out. But it's time to get down, down, down. Cause we're made up of common ground, can't live without it. And it's time to get down, down. We've been looking up, we've been messing around, yeah, we've been freaking out. But it's time to get down, down, down. Cause we're made up of common ground, can't live without it. And it's time we just gotta get on down, 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 down. Cause you are what you eat, and you are what you eat eats, and you're even what you eat eats. And it repeats, it repeats, it repeats, it repeats, it repeats.
You shut it off. Okay. You stopped it. Okay. We'll do it again next week. Give it a try. We had like a less than a minute clip on the local farmers market. A really nice little clip from online. Anyway, so the market started. Y'all support local. Thank you so much for all of the gifts of this and every day. Thank you for the financial good that comes through your hands and through your hearts and flows right in and through this place. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you to each gift giver. And so it is. All right, so feel free to grab something warm next door, coffee, tea, or whatever, and take a little stretch break. And if you want to join us for a conscious conversation at 10:30, you know where to find us. We're going to bless you on your way with Soul's Blessing.
May your soul always find what it's looking for. May your heart always lead the way. May you live in peace and harmony. And may love always fill your day. May your path be strewn with happiness. May success find you everywhere. May you always embrace compassion and grace, and may God always answer your prayer. May you always embrace compassion and grace, and may God always answer your prayers.
Have a beautiful Sunday if you're taking off. If you're not, grab something to drink, and we'll have a conversation.
All right, to all who have returned to join us, good morning again. And those of you in cyberspace, good morning to you as well. Let peace and harmony always be with you. We pray with me now as we come together on this glorious spring morning in the Spirit of God with love, joy, fellowship in our hearts. We come to learn new ways of knowing ourselves and being in this world as individualized expressions of the one universal intelligence I call God. We come together to discuss and share our experience of the divine masculine within, gaining knowledge and shed preconceived notions of those qualities of the divine masculine. Also to think about how we might be expressing it for ourselves and through us, as us. We give thanks for this time together in community to come to know ourselves and each other better. We rest in faith, confidence, and gratitude, knowing all prayer is answered as we release our prayer into the creative process of love and law, the eternal dance of mind, ideas, and manifestations expressing everywhere in divine order and timing for our highest and greatest good. Knowing we are blessed, we call it done, and so it is. Amen.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to most of you, and welcome in to one of you. And maybe more will join, who knows. But a sunny day after the cold we've had, it's pretty tempting. I considered, but then I thought, no, I guess I should probably be there. So, I welcome you or welcome back. If you happen to be new with us online this morning, I'm Reverend Diana Johnson, pastor and spiritual director for Mystic Heart Spiritual Center. We are an independent interfaith community that teaches practical spirituality and universal principles. And so I just welcome you in this morning. We're going to begin with some music, and feel free to sing and dance and jump up and down if you want to.
Welcome to the Mystic Heart. Join the celebration. Lift your voice and sing your part. Make this affirmation. Spirit made us family. With loving hearts we share. Together we are joyfully practicing the possible through prayer. Everything's possible through. Welcome to the Mystic Heart. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
All right, you're going to remember this. We did it not too long ago, but it just fits so well with our theme for this month. We are one God. We are one God, one family. We are one God living in diversity. We are one God. Now I see we are one God living as you and me. We are one God, one family. We are one God living in diversity. We are one God. Now I see we are one God living as you and me. Oh, one God, one God, oh, one God. We are one God, one family. We are one God living in diversity. We are one God. Now I see we are one God living as you and me. Oh, one God. 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 We are one God, one family. We are one God living in diversity. We are one God. And now I see we are one God living as you and me. I didn't see it up here, and then I did. All right. So I invite you once again to move with me into the imaginal realm for just a moment, bringing all of your senses and your feelings into the creation of a love-soaked world. Engage your breath, engage your body. Know with me now that we're creating a world where all humans embody and live from all of the qualities of spirit. Love and kindness, generosity and compassion, peace and justice fill our hearts and our minds and our lives. I feel the presence of a deep sense of joy and contentment and sufficiency. It's palpable. In this more conscious world of our creating, all people honor and care for one another, for all of the life forms that share this beautiful earth, and for the earth herself. We remember that we are connected to all life, that we are dependent on the planet to sustain us, and on one another for social connection and support. Being true to our generous nature, we give of ourselves freely, offering the gifts that are uniquely ours to give. With all needs met for every person, each one is free to share time and talent in ways that feed the soul. By our every thought, word, and action, we're creating a world in which all beings are well fed, have the safety and comfort of home, and a deep sense of purpose and belonging. We're so grateful that health and education and healthy relationships are now supported by social systems grounded in integrity, compassion, and wholeness. Every being is finally valued for its uniqueness. We practice living authentic lives where vulnerability is celebrated. There's no need to defend or protect. With love, generosity, and kindness guiding every human heart, our world is now free of hatred and violence. We recognize the abundance that surrounds us. Giving and receiving flow freely in every direction, and all beings gratefully receive all that is needed to live physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually fulfilling lives. The planet and its beings thrive like never before as we learn to see the sacred in everyone and in everything. We walk in reverence and gratitude for all that we've been given, seeing it all as gift and blessing. We maintain this vision day by day, moment by moment. We are not swayed by appearances. Let me repeat, we are not swayed by appearances. Each of us works to align our actions with this vision, living these changes first in our own lives, with our families, our friends, and our neighbors. And as we do, a new world is being born. In this process of profound change, this community stands as an open and welcoming place for all who seek support, belonging, and a sense of family. By the power of our deep faith, this prayer is acted upon, answered even before it is spoken, as Spirit knows our heart's desire and intent. So in full expectation of its graceful unfolding, we release it to the creative power and intelligence of the universe, the one I call God, to the one that gets it done, and so it is. Amen. It's happening. It's happening. That imaginal realm, that's where it begins. So bringing our awareness back to this conversation this morning. So good to see you guys here. Thank you for taking some time, even with the beautiful sun shining outside. Our theme this month is Divine Union, and our topic of conversation this morning, as it was in Taizé, is Harmony to Wholeness. So I'm going to give a really brief, barely recap of Taizé this morning to give us a jumping off point for the conversation. So we started by looking at divine union through a couple of different lenses. One was the harmonious coexistence of the divine feminine and the sacred masculine energies that exist within everything and within us, and how those energies work together as we express ourselves in the world. And another lens was the awareness that we are a sacred blending of both humanity and divinity, that neither can be removed from the other. And that living our lives as though this were true might actually be the goal that would serve us best. Finally, the lens that says the recognition that there's nothing that separates us from the world around us, and that this is literally true. The actual experience that everything is expressing the one life. So it's about that union that helps us in that experience of the sacred in ourselves and in everything. Then we took a quick look at the yin-yang symbol as a good model for this harmonious balance, blending. And then we reflected a little bit on how we might have come to feel separate from Source, where that might have begun. So I'd like to start the conversation with this question. Are there times, or has there been a time in your life, are there times now maybe, where the divine feminine energies seem to dominate? Any situations or circumstances or things that set you into a space where the divine feminine seems to dominate? Let's review, because it's been a couple months. What are some of those qualities? Divine feminine energies.
Well, I was going to say meditation, because that's receptivity is
Okay.
a divine feminine attribute, and that's listening in the dark is the
Okay.
ultimate receptivity.
So there's a good example of how you consciously call forth that energy, seeking to be receptive, and it serves you in that case. However, might there also be a masculine blending in there, actually?
Well, the intent and
Right.
the plan to sit
Right.
every morning is the masculine, but then
Yeah,
that gets me there.
right,
Then if I don't open up,
right.
doesn't do any good.
So what I think we're going to find, possibly, is that any time we see, like, oh yeah, this is all receptivity, this is all feminine, actually we're going to dig around a little bit and find that if it's serving you, it probably has a masculine counterpart present that we might not be thinking about, because that balance is there. But yeah, the pure receptivity of sitting in meditation and opening up. David?
I am seeing a change in area where it was totally dominated by masculine energy, and that's our wonderful presence of Marianne Williamson running to balance out
Mm-hmm.
the nation, or
Okay.
the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a change.
Yeah, that's a change. It's an attempt to bring balance to an out of balance system. Yeah.
I would say pregnancy, early motherhood.
There we go. Okay. So the feminine energies are dominant. Emotions are what?
Hi.
High. Almost rampant. Yeah.
That's my other word.
Yeah. So there's an example, and it still serves the purpose, but we are better served by consciously trying to bring in some of the balance, even as pregnant women going through these changes. Yeah.
I was thinking healing in hospitals.
Okay, so healing in hospitals.
It's a very nurturing, healing
Right.
space, but there is definitely that masculine component of the order and the action and the
Right.
logic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely try to be balanced, but when I'm doing a massage,
Mm-hmm.
the mothering part of me comes out.
Yeah.
And then I do my healing with that part, but I'm balanced
Right.
with my masculine, so I'm there.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you.
How about like artistic creativity, painting and
Okay. Yeah.
poetry?
Yeah, so if you're
Singing.
fully engaged in an artistic creative flow, that would be a very feminine energy.
There's a masculine energy to that as well.
Cooking, yeah. Yeah, so where's the masculine play into the creativity?
Well, for me, it's remember to practice my instrument, you know, but,
Right.
but you know, with music, you intend to sing a specific song,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so that's that choice, I guess, that decision is the masculine piece, and then you move into feeling the song.
Right.
But
So then-
it's a really good balance.
A balance too. So can you see where, even with the being in the flow of creating something, where does the masculine energy play into that process? Because there's a lot of feminine in there, but again, I think it's counterbalanced with something.
Creating following a new recipe that I've never tried before.
Okay.
So I rarely just let it go like it is. So the creative part of that is looking at that and going, this would be
All right.
better in there.
Yeah.
Masculine is keeping order
Okay.
in the way you follow things.
Okay.
Don't skip steps. You might add a little bit, but you don't skip stuff.
Right. So there's a plan and there's an order
Mhm.
and a very left brain structure about how you're then moving in and creating
Right.
more right brain. Okay.
I feel when I'm doing art, being creative, I could do it forever. And
Uh-huh.
the masculine said, okay, you've had enough, you need to go to bed.
you gotta do something else now. Yeah, okay.
But
Good.
I would say having all the supplies together and
Right.
doing a particular type of painting. I mean,
Yeah.
you could be pretty willy-nilly and find whatever to draw on,
Right.
and with whatever utensil comes. So it's possible to not have so much structure, but
Right.
I mean, when you want specific materials and specific
Yeah.
things, that is pretty
Yeah.
structured.
Even if you're going willy-nilly, it's the masculine energy that says, go get something. Get the material. I mean, it doesn't matter. Go, action, you know.
I'm
So,
helping.
I'm helping.
It's the same thing, even if you're running a household or you're running a business, you can have creative ideas about what you'd like it to look like, but then you need the plan of action to bring it about.
Right, yeah. Yeah. So it really does take a balance of both energies for us to really find harmony in our lives. And there are times when one is dominating the other, and then it ideally should flow back and forth as
Yum.
needed.
Like a seesaw.
Yeah, like a seesaw. What, Dave?
Oh, I just said yum.
Yum.
I got something.
Yeah.
So, as to try to, I guess, process the difference between logic and creativity, feminine,
Mm-hmm.
I often will sit and ponder.
Right.
And when I say ponder, I'm not structured like
Right.
an analyzation,
Yeah.
but ideas will come. Recently, we've got a sheep project going at our place.
Uh-huh.
And so there's a whole breeding program and all this stuff that's going to eventually happen. And so there's a lot of just sitting and pondering and visualization of
Mhm.
the system for it and what they might want. And so is that logic? Is it creative? Is it...
To me, pondering, that sort of allowing ideas to flow feels more like a feminine energy.
It's what it feels like. I don't feel
Yeah.
like I'm analytical.
Right. And then when you're getting ready to take action and actually do the thing, then you're going to call in that left brain and that structure and start making lists and start getting materials and
Gotcha.
yeah. So just the dreaming, the idea phase, the pondering, that's a real feminine
Gotcha.
energy. Let's see, Doreen and then Chris and then I'll come back over here.
So, when I have a lot of creative ideas that I want to do, but I don't know how to do them because I think that I need a man to help me do the things. But I want to create my own masculine energy so I can do it myself.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I'm lacking in that
Uh-huh.
because I don't follow through, say, like
Right.
creating a garden where I have to carry
Right.
things and build things and
Right.
so, and my men, they don't like that.
Uh-huh.
they feminine also?
There might be. So how do you like create that masculine energy if you want to? You know, so you can do these things that you feel like if you only had a man to do it, you know, to help you.
So it's not so much about, now we're getting tangled up now with masculine energy and man, and
Okay.
these are not the same things.
Okay.
So the masculine energy of that would be the part that says, I have all of these ideas about a garden, and I'm going to find a way to begin. It might be a pot that's this big. I'm going to get it. I'm going to do something I can do, or I can be responsible for having someone do without waiting. I'm going to do. That's the masculine.
Without waiting.
I'm going
I
to get
like
it
that word.
done. I'm going to start. I'm going to begin. I have a plan that came from my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
The plan is the masculine energy, and the action is the masculine energy. So how do you do that? There's no trick. It's, you just do it. I mean, it's one of those things that habits can hold us back because we're in the habit of waiting for someone, I don't know if anyone has any tricks you want to share, feel free. But for me, it's just about, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know how to start a church. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. But guess what? Here we are, because we're going to just do it, and then we'll adjust as we go. So it's just in the willingness to take that first step, make the plan, and do the thing. That's bringing in the masculine energy. Yeah. Okay, I had Chris.
Oh, okay.
Well, a long while back.
No,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna piggyback on when James was talking about designing, figuring out the sheep situation. The feminine side of that is just envisioning this, where would a sheep really like to hang out, and then, but as soon as you say, well, they're gonna need water, that's the masculine coming in.
Yeah, we got feed, we got water. Okay, that was your hand I saw.
Okay, so, I was getting water, and I was paying an arm and a leg for the dispenser every month, and I figured I already owned it. And I called the company and said I'd like to buy it, and they told me they wanted a ridiculous amount. So I got online and I bought one for like $90. It came to me, and the hinge on the top of it was broken, so that meant the door wouldn't stay shut. So I got my money back, which was nice, and I thought, I got to figure out, because it was new, and I had to figure out, so I'm thinking, how am I going to fix that? I called 3 guys, carpenters, didn't know you then, and I tried to figure out a way to fix this, because James would have done it, but it had a pin that was broken, and there's no way you could put a new pin in and get the door to stick. So I thought, and my feminine got there, and I figured it out. I got a hinge, and I put it on the outside.
There you go. So,
and it works. And 3 guys couldn't figure that out, but the feminine in me did.
Okay, so the feminine you did. I'm curious why you're saying it was the feminine energy that figured it out.
Because I had to, it could have been the male energy.
Were you thinking it through, figuring it out?
Yes. Well,
that's masculine
it came
energy.
to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
I'm in bed and I'm asleep,
that's why I'm
and I
asking.
woke up and I
There you
thought,
go.
wait a minute, how does, the cupboard stay on?
Right. So it's
and I thought, oh, I could do that. And then I went into my masculine, went and got the hinges, and then my screwdriver wasn't strong enough, so I had to get a man involved. My dance partner, he came over and made the holes. But I mean, I figured it all out, and it works great.
Yeah. Great.
It ended up being free.
So you had a
than the
mixture.
hinges.
You had the dreaming, and then you had
Yeah.
the figuring, back and forth. All right.
But I was proud of myself.
Yes, you should be. David.
Well, I kind of feel like that's the whole purpose, is understanding that these energies intertwine,
Right.
and you have all of it. You have both of it.
Yeah.
And when that comes in balance, things work so much
Right.
nicer. Yeah.
I think what I'm hearing
Mhm.
is that we can think, or we can have a dream, and we can have the dream, and we can
Right.
sit there and have the dream. But until we decide to do the dream, make it workable for our strength, our capabilities, listen to that part and taking that first step from, okay, if I can't do this, how can I do it this way? Or so it's not just letting the intuition or the dream come in,
Right.
it's bringing it into fruition. So you always
Yes.
have this dance of an idea and a thought and then actual manifestation.
Right. Yeah. So,
Sometime that dream could change.
Of
It could be
course.
different.
yeah.
It'll change and it won't be the way we thought about it, but
Right.
it comes out to be better.
Yeah, that's right.
So when you have an emotion that's intense, like
Uh-huh.
you intensely feel this emotion,
Mhm.
that's maybe like anger or something, is that a masculine energy?
Emotion is a feminine energy flowing.
Even anger?
Even anger.
Oh.
Strong emotion is feminine energy flowing. And then how would you bring a masculine energy into temper or balance that?
Try to figure it out, what the problem is.
Okay.
What's causing you to feel
Yeah.
that way.
So you might self-reflect and try to figure out what the cause of this was. That would be one approach, yeah.
Anger as an emotion would be feminine, hitting the wall would be masculine.
Yes. That's right, you got it. Heidi.
Well, piggybacking on that, just taking action to resolve the situation.
Right, so taking action to resolve the situation, that would be bringing a masculine balance to that feminine energy.
An action might actually be removing yourself
It might
from the
be.
circumstance.
Yeah. Probably often that's it.
Take a time out, go take a nap.
That's right. Yeah. So what does a good balance between these energies look like? What's that look like? What is that harmonious back and forth? Pick a situation maybe in your life or something you can use as an example.
I feel that when my masculine and my feminine are together and working,
Mhm.
I'm happy.
Okay.
Because they really work together well.
Right. Okay, so you're happy when they're working well together. James?
So I'll use the sheep project again.
Uh-huh.
When my dreams are more maybe attainable, so the masculine doesn't feel so overwhelmed
Uh-huh.
at trying to create this utopia, sheep farm.
When
We got
are the wool
three.
sweaters coming out?
We got 3 sheep. We're gonna step into it slowly, easily, so it doesn't become this thing that my masculine starts trying to make work.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so making our dreams, reining in a little bit to allow the dreams to be dreams, but to be manageable dreams, attainable dreams.
That reminds me of what you said earlier, like how do we begin? It's like, and you said, start with one pot, start
Right.
small and build on it, and don't
Yeah.
just, feel like you have to have the huge garden and.
Right.
The green
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all a process, and if you can start with what you can manage and be successful, that's always a much more pleasurable, certainly,
Good business model.
experience. And a good business model, yeah.
Less stressful.
Yes. Anybody else wants to share a situation, circumstance? Heidi?
It just sounds to me like creative expression
Mm-hmm.
marries and balances the both of them, because
Right.
you are definitely expressing with your right brain, but it's action, so
Yeah.
that's the left, or the masculine, and so like music, dancing, those sorts of things,
Mm-hmm.
or even sports.
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
So you have a conversation with somebody and, they're not being logical and they're being emotional and they don't want to do what they're said they would do and they're talking to you about it. And instead, you can't change their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So you just, the balance for me, I think, is to just, accept what they and realize
Mm-hmm.
that they, so that would be the masculine, the realization that they are not going to change any of this,
Right.
no matter what you suggest. So just, you know, acceptance and, you know, be kind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, say, okay, you know, I hope you have fun with what you
Right.
have to do that you don't want to do.
Yeah, so you're using that conscious action of kindness. You're being kind consciously,
Yeah,
accepting things as they are.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Lucinda?
If you take something like having a workshop, an idea for a workshop that comes to you,
Mm-hmm.
or is assigned to you, that the feminine part is going to be the one that envisions what you want to say and envisions where you want it to go. The masculine part is going to be the one that actually does the research,
Right.
creates the backbone for it.
Yeah, the outline.
The outline and
Uh-huh.
everything like that, yeah.
Right.
And then even when you're doing the workshop, it's gonna be a mixture of both
Right.
of them. Because you're encouraging and nurturing someone to actually speak up.
Mhm.
But at the same time, that masculine part is coming in and moving things forward.
Right.
So you don't get
Because you do
stuck.
have an end time to your workshop.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Yes. Let me just clarify, when one speaks up and says, "I'd like to be a minister," then she gets assignments.
I wasn't complaining. But it was fun.
So the sacred scriptures of the world have pointed to our oneness with God, or with the all that is, or the universe. I looked into the Christian Gospels and right away found, "Believe me when I say that I am in the Father and the Father is in me." So it's, you could say the mother, I am in the mother and the mother is in, it's Mother, Father, God. I and my Father are one. Pretty clearly all over the Gospels. The oneness, the one aspect or the oneness aspect of life is very much central to the Taoist philosophy as well. Lao Tzu wrote in the Tao Te Ching, "From the one came the two, came the three, came the 10,000 myriad of things."
Yeah.
So there's that idea again. Shamanism teaches that Great Spirit or Creator is the life back of all that exists. It is that intelligence, it is that sentience, and that everything is interconnected and we're part of a larger web of consciousness. Quantum theory even reveals a basic oneness to the universe and is having to face the question of consciousness as creator. Hitting a wall so far, but they're there, they have to look at it. Mm-hmm. So here's my question. With all of this and all of the world's traditions, how have we come to see ourselves as separate from one another?
That's what we were taught. That's
Okay.
that's what my mother believed. She was
Mhm.
Catholic. She'd been Mormon. She'd done lots of different things.
Mhm.
And I came in cutting my teeth on being a Catholic.
Okay.
And there's separation there.
Right.
And then when I got through with, grew up and decided, I started searching not every religion, but every Christian religion, Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, Seventh-day Adventists, and I never ever found that peace
Right.
that passes understanding
Yeah.
until I read Neil Donald Walsh's book,
Mhm.
and he talked about being God, and that's when I found my peace.
Yeah.
And that's when I
Nice.
started my journey looking for the right path, and it ended up here.
Imagine that. Pointed right back within.
Absolutely.
I wonder if it didn't come from the notion of original sin and the notion that maybe we only focused on our human nature because it was something we could have concrete touch, see, and feel,
Mhm.
as opposed to recognizing or even honoring what may have been going on, and did we even bother to listen? Did we even know to listen? So how did we, our separation from our inside was separated from our outside because we were focusing on just what we could see with our senses and touch.
Okay, so born into a very materialistic understanding of the world.
It's very physical.
Very physical. Yeah. Heidi?
But I also kind of think it might be part of the game. You know, we're born, we forget, and the game is to find our way back.
Okay. Yeah, so it's built in. That's part of this realm. This physical realm is a realm of duality and separation. And our job is to find our way back to that oneness.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I believe is that we come into the earth searching for whatever we're searching for, and that inside of us, we, on some level, our spirit knows that we're God, and we're searching for that, to find ourselves and find God within us, our own selves. And that's everybody's path.
Right.
Not just mine, but everybody's path, and everybody finds whatever path they have. And if it gives them peace, finding Danny, because I don't think there's any one way to God.
Right.
I think, in fact, there's no way to God because he's already here.
There's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go.
Right.
No way out, but a way in.
Right, absolutely.
I think it's just really hard to imagine us being one. I mean, we don't share thoughts, we don't share, feelings. They all kind of feel separate, they feel like there's all these individual ideas and inspirations and things that come to each one of us. And I think the ego has really been built, around that idea that we have our own desires and we want to see different things in the world. So it's really hard to imagine that, that's all really just part of one thing.
Yeah.
And really trust
Right.
that the other is, even though it may feel opposing, that it's still part of the same
Right.
bigger plan.
Yeah. That infinite intelligence, the infinite nature of spirit it's so much we can't possibly really understand it. But the fact that we say even that spirit is infinite means that it has to be able to experience itself in an infinite number of ways. And so each of us gives it a whole new set of ways to know itself, to experience its creation.
I think what taught me the best was the ocean, and that I'm not a drop in the ocean, that I am the ocean in a drop of water.
Yeah.
And that woke me up when I heard that.
Yeah, that's a great metaphor. It is. So our religion, go ahead, David.
I flashed on sometimes that to get here, I needed both the masculine and the feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, right from the beginning, you could see that was an energy between two souls that brought this soul in to be part of the whole thing, both parts. And I think we get lost sometimes when we've adopted this male or female role, thinking we're not connected to the other side of that equation,
Right. Yeah, no, I certainly wasn't taught that I had these counterbalancing energies within me and encouraged to bring them all forth. That wasn't a thing, not in my life. Yeah. I was gonna, so our religious teachings are partly, maybe it's part of the game we're playing. Race consciousness is full of this idea of separation. We're born into that. Our upbringing maybe influences that. What about fear? Does fear play in, or might it play in to our buying into the belief in separation?
That's where I was talking about the opposing views, is just that that it seems hard for both of them to be true.
Right.
It feels like someone's not doing what you're doing, and how can they both exist
Yeah.
together? So I feel like that
Mm-hmm.
really is the biggest part that separates, but knowing that, you know, everything is meant to be, and there is that balance of one side and the other,
Right.
but we don't really get taught that growing up.
No,
at
we
all.
don't, for sure.
We're taught to struggle and feel like we have to
Yeah,
get what we need,
yes.
and maybe not let that other person have what they are wanting.
Right. Yeah.
Enough for all of us.
There
Scarcity, fear.
Fear, yeah, scarcity. Chris and
Yeah, I was
then
gonna say,
Lori.
that's the story we're born into. We're actually born with our oneness intact,
Mhm.
but the story that we hear as we're growing up tells us that we're separate and there's not enough to go around. And the
Okay.
fear that I'm not gonna get mine is
Yeah.
what, and I was thinking about this earlier, the creation story, the myth that in Genesis, that, they ate the apple. Well, it's, we bought the story, we drank the Kool-Aid, if you will, of not enough to go around, that we're separate, there's not enough to go around, but that it's simply not true.
Yeah. Thank you. Doreen?
I was thinking about how city planning goes.
Uh-huh.
When they're planning a city or building, they'll
Mhm.
build projects that are low income for people.
Right.
And then they'll build places, so.
Gated communities.
Yeah, gated
Yeah.
communities
Yeah.
and, affluent areas.
Uh-huh.
And so, I don't know anybody who would go and, who was affluent, who would rent an apartment at a project.
Mm-hmm.
So that really separates you
Yeah.
the way, where are you gonna live? Like, when you're
Right.
thinking about it, and you're living in a big place like a city where they have,
Mhm.
you're gonna pick where you fear, because of fear,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna pick a
Right.
place that you feel like you'd be safe. So
Yeah.
you feel separated from,
Right.
and I don't think that was a good idea to make those projects, because too much poverty in one place.
Right. Yeah. So we separate ourselves from fear. Yeah. Listen.
Well, we're talking about fear here in terms of scarcity or things like that, but when you're born in and you're already this race consciousness, you're separate. Fear and then anger.
Mm-hmm.
When you are hurt, when you are abandoned, it's not about scarcity, it's more about a way of falling into victimhood.
Okay.
And so long as you're in that space, you cannot feel part of one, you cannot be one. You have to let go of all of that. And
Right.
that's hard, because it's
Yeah.
familiar. But you have to let go of all of that before you can come back to, oh, I'm the one who turned my back on all of this.
Yeah.
It didn't turn its back on me.
Yeah, as long as we're standing in a victim place, we can't feel one with anything. It's an
Exactly.
automatic separation. Heidi?
And kind of underpinning a lot of that is just that concept of the zero-sum game,
Mhm.
where if somebody gets more, then that's less for me. And
Right.
so then you have to, like, there's this finite
Yeah.
resources, and that's where a lot of that infighting comes in as well.
Yeah. So we have, go ahead.
What about the idea of fear of belonging?
Okay.
So from victimhood to also fear of belonging.
Fear of belonging, yeah. So you can have fear from either side of that, and either can cause you to separate yourself, to stay separate from. We have, what about fear of having to step up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm suddenly being told that I am one with all of these human beings and all of these creatures and all of this planet, I am one with the very creator that created all of it, doesn't that maybe make me feel like I need to step up a little bit somewhere or other in my life? Do we have a fear of stepping up? Or is it just not, is it laziness? I don't know.
I don't
That goes
know.
back to Mary Ann Williamson's quote.
Uh-huh.
That we're not afraid of power. It's not coming clear to me now. And it's my favorite quote, one of my favorite quotes. We're afraid of how powerful we actually
Right.
are.
Yeah. Yeah, because then we have to step into that.
Yeah.
And then there's fear of responsibility.
Fear of
Taking
responsibility.
responsibility for a choice we make and
Mhm.
the outcome that may come, whether it's what we like or don't like. So
Right.
there's fear of responsibility.
Yeah.
Well, there's also, we may know we're all one with everybody else, but they may not all know that.
They.
The they.
Us and them.
Others.
So there is like a fear of, putting your neck out there.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Vulnerability.
Yeah, judgment,
retaliation.
retaliation, being ostracized. We talked about that.
Telling you're gonna go to hell because you don't believe the way I do.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
So we might be experiencing fear of stepping up, fear of retaliation, fear of greatness, fear of greatness, fear of failure. I mean, it's not measuring up, not taking responsibility. All of these fears keep us feeling separate
And little.
and small. Yeah. Lucinda.
Sometimes, if it's just a simple thing like something needs to be said, I need to go talk to somebody, and I'm afraid to do that. It's a fear of figuratively putting my neck on the line.
Yeah,
So a fear of putting myself out there,
right.
being
Yeah.
not
Something,
accepted fully.
right, I might not be accepted. Something might happen that might leave me feeling uncomfortable. Oh darn, uncomfortable. Yeah, it's David.
Well, a lot of fear going around these days is of other people's sexuality, and
Yeah,
you're not like me, and I don't, and so
Mhm.
we're isolating that.
right.
Or,
Fear of what we don't understand.
Right,
We
exactly. Fear,
we don't
yeah.
have a way of connecting with it.
Well, you might have to relate to it somewhat, and
Right.
you don't want to deal with that. So.
Yeah, yeah. So what can we do to move in the direction of trusting in and living from that divine union? Are there things we can actually do? Can we engage the masculine energy and actually do something to move us closer in that direction?
Pray,
Prayer?
meditate.
Meditation?
I think we just have to take the risk and be vulnerable.
Take the risk, be vulnerable, make
Trust.
yourself willing, trust, faith,
And being present.
being present, presence,
Setting
Yeah.
boundaries.
setting boundaries. Yes.
I have a sister and I love her,
Mhm.
but she is a Trumpster and she's a religious person. And she's always telling me I'm going to hell and that I need to come back and this, and this. And so I just say, I love you, thank you very much, and I just don't call her. Because I don't want
Yeah.
the
Set
drama
boundaries.
all the time.
Ask her if
Right,
she'll come
yeah.
visit you now and then,
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I think the-
wherever
the other-
we're at.
I think the other thing we need to do is be willing to be authentic,
Mhm.
like especially with the gender thing. If we don't know how to relate to somebody, just admit that. In the early days of pronoun preferences, I made a lot of mistakes.
Right.
And
Join the
I
club.
just said, I blew it, I didn't mean to offend you. They understood, and we stayed friends and all that stuff, but it's just, I don't understand. I was born a long time ago, and we didn't have this back then, or we had it, but we didn't
It
know
wasn't
about it.
But you weren't
upfront, yeah.
aware, yeah,
It
right.
wasn't up front. Yeah. So there,
What about education and acknowledgement? Acknowledgement, like you
Yeah.
said, I don't know, but also
right,
educating
Educate ourselves.
oneself if there's enough interest to know.
yeah.
Or ban the books that show you.
So, so educating yourself, self-reflection, spending some time in self-reflection. Basically engaging with your spiritual practices is very helpful. Any or all of them is really helpful in bringing you to a more centered place of oneness with other people and with the Creator. So I'm going to wrap us up because it's time. It's time. I'm looking at the clock going, oh. So let's just take a moment and ground ourselves in the knowing that there is one source of all of life. That divine union is what is happening all the time. That masculine energies and feminine energies coexist, and their natural state is to be harmonious. That our physical being and our spiritual being are one being. There is no separation between them. And that the world that we see as being outside of our physical bodies and the world we see when we look at ourselves, this is one world, this is one existence. We are one with all that is. And so just accepting that this is so, and then turning within and looking at how we can walk in the world from that place. Someone crossing our path, looking into those eyes at that being as one piece of myself. Looking at the trees and the forests and the natural spaces on the planet that are being threatened, and knowing and living as though this is yet another piece of myself. It's all sacred, it's all holy, it's all spirit. And so I just give thanks for this knowing, and for my deep faith that all is unfolding for good in every moment. By whatever appearance we see, we can always trust that all is used for good. And so we say thank you, Spirit, for this day, for the company of beloved family. We say thank you for things to think about this week, ideas to consider, tools to put to use. Thank you for this space that gives us a beautiful place to come together. Thank you for all of the simple little things, the millions of simple little things that each of us is blessed with every day. A bed to sleep in, hot and cold running water, a cup of coffee or tea in the morning, a window that we can look out so that we can see the beautiful world while we're still being comfy in our chair. All of the little things. Thank you, Spirit, for the graceful unfolding of this day and this time together. And trusting that it blesses us for the coming week and sends us back into our lives filled and fulfilled. I say thank you. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Thank you guys for the good conversation today. We're going to take a moment to invite you to join in the celebration of the work that we're doing here by sharing of your financial good, should you choose to do so. If you are online today, you can go to mysticheart.org and you'll find a donate button or a mailing address. And while we're offering this time, I'm going to ask Michael to bring up, I have written here Eddie Van Watkins Jr. I am the place where God lives. That's what we call him. Eddie Van Watkins Jr.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place.
I am the place where God
You
lives,
are the place.
moves and breathes and has
We
its
are the
being.
place
I am the place
where God shows up. I am the place.
I am the place where God
You
lives,
are the
moves and
place.
breathes and has
We
its
are the
being.
place
I am the place
where God shows up. I want you to clap your hands and sing it with me. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Eddie Watkins, Husk, can I have some more of that? Can we have some more of that? A little more? A little more.
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Eddie Watkins! Good job, brother. Outstanding. Eddie Watkins Jr.
Nice.
He's like, can I have a little bit more?
All right.
climb up again. Yes, yes, I'm supposed to do something. We accept these gifts from your hands, knowing it comes from a great spirit of love and kindness and joy, to do good work in this world, in this church, through us and with us, and always for us. We thank you. And so it is.
Very much. So we're going to close with our closing song, and just be aware that there are many plants. Every week there will be many plants, so take all you want, please.
Plant all you take.
And plant all you take. Or give them to someone who will. It's fine. All together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free, and share this blessing. Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. Peace come to you, may good flow to you, let joy renew you until we meet again. Love be with you, ooh, 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 love be with you until we meet again. Love be with you. Love be with you, now breathe it in. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you until we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you, now breathe it in. Love be with you. We love you. Please stay and join us for lunch. There's a lot of food.
Yes, there is.